Hello friends, welcome to Salesforce Semantics video session 54. So in today's video also we will continue with the compute expression node and probably we will learn a few more functionalities. So firstly, let me, Analytics Studio is already open here. So let me go to data manager and let me go to manage data flow. Let me open this data flow. Now we have covered a lot of, derived fields over here. Okay, now let's say I want to do a classification of type. So we will use one functions called starts underscore with and ends underscore with. So I have this particular SQL query where I'm querying ID name type created, which is fine. Now here, if you see, I have a few types, right? For example, it's mostly business here, which I see. Okay, strange, it's mostly business here. I see only customers, there are two. Okay. Otherwise, mostly is business. Okay, cool, cool. Mostly it's business. Fine. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me update a few of them. Fine. So, for example, let me open this one. Uh, Other than this, let me open this one as well. Let me open this one. Let me open this one. Now over here, let's say I put a few types. Uh, let's say put new customer. Okay, new customer. The type as new customer. Okay. Okay, I have already done it. Now, let's say I go over here. Okay, and in the connect tab, let me sing this once. Why showing it? Okay, just showing as field. Why showing as field? Not an issue. Now let's run this once and let's see. So for this opportunity, let's say I run this data sync. Okay, and what I'm going to do is basically I want to do a type classification. Fine. So let me write it as type classification. And let me write something like so. As you can see here, I have a few classification, right, where it's business. Okay, there are few which is like I think mostly doesn't start with business, but it definitely ends with business, right? So let's say And now if I export this, because I have already updated a few, okay. So as you can see here, we have new customer, new business, okay, and existing as well. So let's say I write something like, if something uh, starts with business or ends with business, it will be a business classification. Okay, otherwise it will be a non-business classification. Fine. So let's see if I open also one of them. The type which I have is either it's new or exist. Okay, okay, new or existing, new business, new customer, down ends with customer. Okay, ends with customer, or we don't have any starting with customer. Mm. Ends with business. Okay, we have something called new business. That's fine. Okay, and let's say we have something called new business. So I can write ends with business. Okay, cool. So let's say I write case when and let's say it would be, okay, it will be business classification, business type classification. I will write it as business type. Okay, and the same thing I will just copy from here and I will write over here, and it will be ends with. Okay, so here it will be ends with type business. Why I have written type? It will be type only, huh? Because I have this field name as opportunity type. Okay, then also it will be business type. Else I will just write it as non-business. Okay, non-business type. Fine. So this is the type classification which I'm doing, where I'm mentioning case when starts with, if the type starts with business, because but anyhow we don't have any type which is starting with business, which is fine, but I just want to show you how we can write this. Or if we have anything which ends with business, okay, then it will be a business type, else it will be a non-business type. Okay, and at last of course it will be, and this is a function where starts with means basically in that particular field it's check what is the word which it's starting with, and ends with means in that particular column or field it's checking what is the word it's ending with. Okay, so here I'm giving the word as business, BUSINESS. Let me check quickly if it is that itself, BUSINESS. Okay, okay, and now let me click on save. Fine. uh I think this is fine. Is there anything else which I wanted to show you? So type classification, okay, and one more thing is, usually when you see our this data set, if I open derived fields, okay, let's say here if I open derived fields data set, and let me quickly jump back to values table, and here if I bring in this field, right, which is the created date. Okay, so if you bring the created date right here, you see in the created date it's showing me the created date as well as the timestamp, right? Because by default in Salesforce for created date field we have the timestamp, of course. Now let's say if the condition is like I don't want to see the timestamp, so in that case what I can do, I will write one more derived fields where I will just write created date excluding time. Okay, so let me first write that, and of course it will be date, and the format which I will give is nothing but YYYY dash MM dash TD format. Okay, and that created date, I will just write, so to date, I already explained you in one of our sessions what does that to date means. So here I will write created date underscore seg underscore epoch. Fine. So I am just writing created date excluding time, where I will just map the date part, that is the format, the date format, and I don't want the timestamp. Okay, so this is the way to write that expression. Let me click on save. Fine, let me click on propagate, and once again data manager. So this sync ran successfully, and now I will just go to this data flow and I will run this data flow. Okay, so let's monitor this till the time it runs. So this ran successfully. Now I will just open that lens which I was using earlier, okay, instead of this one. So let me leave this. I think I was using this one, derived fields. So under this derived fields, what is showing? Make sure and is spelled correctly without spaces. Make sure record created in last 5 to 30 days. Okay, okay, I got it, I got it. Okay. So this one, what I will do is I will just press Control plus C, and instead of 30, I have to actually write 35. Okay. That's one thing I have to do. So here I will just search with 30, because when I created it, that name was actually 30. That's why it's throwing an error. And where is it? Is it 4 places it's used? It's saying, okay, 30. That's fine. So here I will just mention as 35. Here also I will mention as 35. Okay. So this will be 35, 35. And where else I can see this? Okay, here also it will be 35. Okay. That's 5 to 35. And I think that's it. And let me click on done. Okay, so this particular expression came into picture. What happened was earlier I gave 30. That's why that later on I changed it to 35. That's why it was throwing an error. In lens, this kind of things happens. Anyways, this will be a part of one of our session as well, not an issue. But now here, the main thing, which is will bring the type classification now. Okay. And this type classification, let me bring it at the top of opportunity type. Fine. And then I will bring in the created date excluding time. Okay. So this is the one created date excluding time, and let me click on apply. And this one, just let me bring at the top of, or let me bring this created at the bottom of this. Okay. So now, firstly, what I did is here I brought in the type. So as you can see, the type classification, if it is ending with business, so we don't have anything which is starting with business. But if it is not ending, see, although it's new business, but it's still giving us non-business type. The reason being, I'm given the condition as either it has to ends with or it has to starts with. Okay. So that's why it's giving us non-business type. Fine. But otherwise, if it's ending with business, it's showing us business type. Fine. Here also it's not starting with business. That's why showing us non-business type. Fine. That's the thing. Maybe I could have given something like starts with new. Maybe that could be better, but that's fine. You can understand that was the whole purpose to bring it. And then as you can see here, this is the default created, which we have in Salesforce. And this one is excluding the time part. Okay, which I've written over there. Fine. So let me just save this as well. So yeah, just learned two functions today, that is starts underscore with, ends underscore with, and we also understood how if there's a default field which maps the timestamp, how we can exclude the timestamp. It's very simple. I just give the date format over there. Okay, so yeah, that's it about this video. Please definitely do like, share, and subscribe, and yeah, let's meet soon in our next session. Thank you.